What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I am your host, Tom Dark, and today we're going to be talking about DarkViperAU. He's a YouTuber with 1.5 million subscribers. It's a pretty big channel, and he does Grand Theft Auto content. That's his whole thing. But another thing he's very passionate about is reaction content. And by passionate, I mean he absolutely hates reaction content and has made countless videos, I want to say over 10 at this point, talking about his distaste for reaction content. He's been talking about the exploitation that some reactors like XQC and Hassan Piker enact on YouTubers when they watch their content on their streams and don't really add anything.
Even in this small corner, with all the influence I have, I feel powerless to stop even this injustice, and let's be real, it is far from the greatest injustice that exists. Social systems value the already successful, regardless of how the success was obtained, and they make it easier for them to maintain and increase that success to the detriment of those who have yet to obtain it. I believed this to be true before I became rich and successful, and I believe it even more so now that I'm both. I despise such aspects of life, and React content to me is just one more example of it. There is little I love more than passionate people. To see these obscenely rich, lazy people reposting other people's videos at the speed of sound, spending just enough time to watch and say a few words, this isn't what content creation should be about.
And I was pretty much on his side. I think he was going a little autistic about it with the paragraphs on end and people's messages, but then again, I am the 2-hour-long video guy, so can I really talk about autism in any way? It's just different for me because I read it off in a video instead of, DMing it to people. But the general sentiment of XQC making complete garbage content, I agree. He's a worm. End of story. So why am I talking about Dark Viper today? Why is he in the news? Well, enter our next character, Chud Logic. You guys may remember Chud from when he covered the Super Mega situation. We actually ended up having a discussion on stream about it before I made my 2-hour-long video on the main channel, and he provided a lot of valuable insight.
Lex is a lying.
So Chud, being a bit of a talker, a poo stirrer, dude, that's foul. I need to stop saying things like that forever. A bit of a goofy guy, decided to talk about DarkViperAU on his channel. DarkViper had made this stream clip on his channel titled, "Am I jealous of Jacksfilm's success with credit the creators?" And in this video, he answered the question at hand and talked about the React trend as a whole. The video was 9 minutes long, got about 60,000 views, and he had some positive reception from his audience. I thought this was a mostly fine upload. I didn't really have any issues with it, honestly, at all. But Chud Logic did not like this video at all, and as a result, he made a 35-minute long response on his channel titled "Dark Viper is seething about Jacksfilm stealing his thunder." Now, this video is a reaction to Dark Viper. Make no mistake, it is a reaction video. He watches the entire thing in full. But it's 35 minutes long, he adds a lot of commentary, and the original video was less than 10 minutes. So by that metric, about 26 minutes of the reaction is made up of commentary from Chud, where he transforms the original content.
Just sitting on his ass all day, spamming out as many as possible, releasing 10 videos a day. Sniper Wolf may be bad.
Okay. I mean, he's making this. I just don't think there's as much of a distinction as he's trying to make out there is. Sniper Wolf pumps out content too. Sniper Wolf, when she got a main channel demonetized because of the recent drama, uploaded an old video from a main channel onto a second channel to get another bite of the apple on it. Dude.
He has a lot of commentary where he repurposes what originally said, makes a new product, and it does not serve as a market replacement in my eyes. That being said, I'm not a legal expert. I can't tell you for sure if this is fair use. I'm certainly not as well read on it as someone like DarkViperAU, and the main point of contention that some people have around this issue is the amount of content used. Chud used 100% of the original video within his original work. As a general rule, the more material you copy from the original, the less likely it is that your use will be considered a fair use. How much is too much? There's no hard and fast answer to that question. It depends on how much you need to accomplish your purpose, such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. If you copied 5 paragraphs when 3 sentences would have sufficed, you probably took too much. On the other hand, copying entire works under some circumstances can qualify as fair use. And so basically, if we read fair use law, we can see here that it could be fair use, but I just can't say for sure. It hasn't been taken to court. I'm not the fair use expert. I think there's an argument maybe to be made from Chud Logic that under the fair use criteria, it's not technically, legally fair use. But honestly, I don't really care, because I'm somewhat critical of this part of fair use law. In my opinion, you should be able to play someone else's entire original work as long as you add to it. If you're reviewing an album, I think you should be able to play the entire album, every single second of it, so long as you're constantly adding commentary. If the viewer wants to go listen to that album, and that album alone, it's extremely easy to find that on YouTube for free in the same way that they would see that review. But if they're watching your review, it's my belief that they must want your commentary, not just the commentary of the original piece. They want to see you react to it. I believe this part of fair use use law is archaic and dumb when applied to YouTube. You know, things have changed a lot in the entertainment industry, but I digress. I don't know if Chud Logic's use is legally fair. I'm just saying, on a personal level, I would defend it and say that it shouldn't be struck down for any reason. You can disagree with that, you can agree, but that's just how I feel. Chud made this video where he called Dark Viper a spurg, basically, right? For 35 minutes, he called him a spurg.
He's such a bitter little man. That's just what all I get from this, is this guy's a bitter little autistic freak. When there's been plenty of opportunity for him to get his message out in a much more amenable way, in a much friendlier way, in a way that people are going to accept it more. But he's obsessed with this idea that, no, I've got it right. And actually pumping out massive DMs to other creators is the way to deal with this.
Video goes up, all is well, until November 11th, 2023, when Chud got notice that someone had tried to take down his video through YouTube's copyright system. And when he checks the email and notification he got, the name and email seems to line up with Dark Viper. But why would he do this? I mean, in my eyes, the video was transformative in nature. It changed the content at hand. Dark Viper and others had issues with streamers that don't add anything to the content they react to. Chud did add to the content in my eyes, and I see it as silly to file a DMCA takedown of his reaction when he consistently adds to the content that he reacts to. Thankfully, YouTube bounced this back, saying that they believe the content is actually fair use and they will not be taking down the content. Now, a lot of people are taking this as like evidence that it is fair use. Keep in mind, we still technically don't know because it hasn't been in a court of law. That's my understanding anyway. We can just kind of guess based on the fair use criteria. But what's more likely is that the takedown wasn't properly filled out with the information that YouTube wanted. I've had this happen to me before where someone will try to claim my video and they just don't fill out the form properly, so YouTube doesn't have enough information to, you know, think that my video isn't fair use, and therefore, they say innocent until proven guilty, right? And to be honest, after reading the claim itself, this is either someone trying really hard to sound like Dark Viper, or it's just him, because it is worded in a way that only he would say things. I'm gonna try not to, like, make fun of this too much here, but it opens with saying, I have made particular study of fair use law. I have made particular study of fair use law. Like, come on. Tell me this isn't him, guys. Tell me you can't imagine that face using the word particular in the first sentence of anything. For example, I've read Haasendaw versus Klein. This is the Ethan Klein copyright case, by the way, from years ago, where Matt Haas tried to sue Ethan Klein for reacting to his stuff, and Ethan won in the end. Where's the Fair Use by the lawyer Jessica Vogel that covers all relevant precedent on fair use in America. I'm perfectly willing to hire a lawyer and argue this in court. If you reject this dispute, I will merely circumvent you and serve him myself. If you have not read either, feel free. By the way, this part of the claim is where you're supposed to write about like how your copyright was infringed. It's not supposed to be like where you talk about how you're knowledgeable. This is not where you write about how much you personally know about the subject of copyright law. He does write a bit more about that later, saying that Chud copied his thumbnail, did a watch party, and added commentary as he went. I mean, I don't know if it's legally transformative, but colloquially, in my opinion, if you react to a video and add a ton of commentary like Chud did, I mean, he like tripled the length of it. I think that's transformative. Maybe I'm fucking crazy here, but I think, in my eyes, that is transformative. And then Dark Viper, supposedly, allegedly, whatever, says that it does not fall under fair use. Now, once again, I can't tell you if this is fair use in a super legal sense. It would have to really go to court. But what I can say is that I find copyright takedowns of this nature to be pretty lame. Dark Viper has 1 million subscribers. Chud Logic has less than 50,000. What was he really losing from this 10,000 view video that he felt the need to file a takedown? And now he's threatening a lawsuit, basically. To what end? What would that really do? I mean, it's not like Dark Viper really lost anything from this particular video. Is this out of spite? Is it out of principle because he wants to be the long arm of fair use doctrine? I really don't know. Well, a lot of people were wondering why Dark Viper filed this claim, myself included, so Nicholas Diorio decided to reach out to him via a super chat to see why he had filed this claim.
Hi Dark Viper, were you the one who filed a DMCA on Chud Logic's reaction to you? Just wanted to clarify if that was you and not an impersonator.
Nicholas, I know you're a historic star. I don't care.
Now, Nick is a historic stirrer. This is, you can't argue with that. He's like a drama YouTuber, you know. I don't know what you expect. But he just asked why this claim was filed, and instead he got this totally weird sort of non-response. After that, Keemstar asked the same thing, to which he got his message deleted by moderators. Now, to be clear, they later said this was a mistake because they didn't know if this is the real Keemstar, but the weird dodging of this question by Dark Viper just comes across strangely. Like, this is giving me the heebie-jeebies, so to speak, okay? Like, if it wasn't him, why not just say it wasn't me? And he did actually acknowledge Keem's super chat and just moved on to playing games.
Good meme, drama. Good meme, Keem.
Good meme. Is it true you false flagged Chud? I'm not a starter. I'm a respected journalist covering a major story.
I think even at the same time. This would be fun.
Is it true you false flagged Chud Logic? If it is not my favorite Red Dead Redemption, I'm a respected journalist covering a major story.
What timing? Alright. Time for Max Payne 3.
Oh! Oh my goodness, wow. What happened, Dark Viper? This is your thing, bro. This is your whole thing. This is your chance to take a stand and explain why you've chosen to DMCA me because I'm such a bad channel and apparently I'm doing this. I'm robbing you blind, apparently. But no, he doesn't want to answer all of a sudden. He doesn't want to engage with this. How many videos has this freak got on his channel about bigger creators reacting and fucking banging on about this again and again and again? But now he's very quiet on the topic all of a sudden, isn't he? Very quiet indeed.
And in a subsequent video, Chud also explained his thoughts on his reaction to that video and how he thinks that while he did use the entire original video in his own, he also added to it quite a bit and made it transformative in his eyes.
How is the market for your original work affected by this use? There is no reason to watch the original if you have viewed the re-upload. All information and graphics have already been seen. So, I think this is arguable as to whether that's the case, because I don't know. I'm willing to kind of accept that, yeah, it is obviously the full 9-minute video that he uploaded. But like, what with the way it's been transformed and the way that I'm commentating and things like that, is it really like a replacement to the original work? Like, this is something where I think it's a bit uncertain as to how that would be viewed. Because yeah, it was a 9-minute video and my edit of it was like between 35 and 40 minutes or something like that. So yeah, this is one factor. I'm not certain on that, you know, legally, not sure what the situation would be, but I think that I would, you know, be willing to argue that there's a case to be made that that isn't necessarily true.
And my argument is, like, if you're watching Chud Logic, then you're there for his take, right? If you wanted Viper's take, you should just, like, watch his channel to see what he says without Chud. I just don't see why the DMCA was necessary or reasonable at all. Like, even if you are, like, a big DMCA guy, right? Like, are you just gonna, like, DMCA every single clip someone posts of you on YouTube because it's not technically fair use? Like, what kind of precedent is this setting? Like, since then, Chud Logic has been going hard on Twitter, calling his fans insufferable freaks, pulling an old clip of Viper saying the gamer word that, according to Chud, he DMCAs off of YouTube. Here's a clip in which Dark Viper says
the N-word.
Seems like this hasn't been widely seen before. That's because Dark Viper allegedly DMCA'd the person who uploaded the clip to YouTube. To be clear, I don't personally care about the word. I just feel it demonstrates Dark Viper's willingness to use the DMCA system to take things down he doesn't like, rather than to remedy breaches of copyright. Here's evidence of the DMCA/copyright strike. And we can see here it does appear to have applied a strike to this person's channel. Unfortunately, Dark Viper has said before he won't talk to me as it doesn't benefit him, and also has yet to respond to commentary on his DMCA against me. He apparently doesn't care about clips, as this obsessive fan points out. They replied to every tweet about Dark Viper yesterday. If that's so, why did he DMCA this clip? And Chud also posted an update saying that Dark Viper is currently undergoing tests for gay turbo AIDS.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So hopefully all parties can get that sorted out. It's a pretty dark time, honestly, for the guy. Now, full disclosure, I wanted to find out what was up with this. So I tweeted at Dark Viper and I was like, hey, am I going to get, you know, any response here? Like what's the deal? And I ended up super chatting him on live stream, asking as well. And he was like,
hey, Tom, I sent you an email.
It's pretty short. I'm not going to read it all out here because it just doesn't really matter. And also, like, I don't know. I just don't feel the need to show the email or anything. Basically, in the email, he says, sort of in a wraparound way, that it was him who filed the strike. One line I will read is him saying, no one else would be dumb enough to react to a video that says within it that the person doesn't like their content to be reacted to, let alone react to a dude with 10 hours of content explaining in specific detail that he doesn't like reaction content. So, you know, he never said in the email explicitly, I filed this, but from that line, I'm kind of led to believe that he probably is the one who filed it. Definitely is the one who filed it. So yeah, I mean, that's really the story now. I'm curious what you guys think. Like, do you think this is a justified DMCA claim? Are you guys, like, really on the side of fair use and, like, just what the law explicitly says? Do you want the video down? Do you think it should be back up? My personal opinion is it should be back up, and it did go back up, but once again, my personal opinion is, like, this DMCA takedown never should have been filed in the first place. I think it's dumb, it's silly, it's stupid. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. I don't really hate Dark Viper. I'm not a hater, but I just see this thing kind of going under the radar, and I wanted an explanation, and I wanted other people to know, and I guess now you guys kind of have one. If there's some other reasoning or something I'm missing, if this is like 5D chess on Dark Viper's part, if this was some other copyright troll and he actually didn't file it and this like cryptic email is just not real or anything, then I'll make an updated video talking about that and we can put this whole thing to bed. If he ends up suing Chud Logic, that would be crazy, and you know, I'll probably talk about that. I don't think that's going to happen though. But as far as I can tell, no reasonable person would file a DMCA claim on a 35-minute reaction to a 9-minute clip that had like 10,000 views. It didn't really steal anything from from Dark Viper. He didn't really lose anything from this video. The only thing that happened is Chud called him a spurg and talked him, right? Which is like, it's not nice, but I don't think it should warrant a DMCA claim. Kind of wears me out, bruh. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to stay skibbity.
Skip it up and that up.
Stay toilet, stay rizzed, and I will see you all tomorrow. Yeah, bye. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members-only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support.
No